So yeah, welcome. So topic of today is managing flow errors with a subflow. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn or just my name. Should be pretty easy to find, hopefully. So quick agenda. So just brief introduction, which would be who I am, why I'm doing this talk, and then what are subflows. So I guess the definition for them, and then we'll build screen flow, which will deliberately produce an error, so we can see, how Salesforce normally handles it, and then we'll build a subflow so that we'll end up getting, hopefully a nicer user experience in the end out of that. So basically, the end goal of the day is, so the top in the red is what your user will normally get, just this big red text, unhandled fault has occurred in this flow. Doesn't really give you an information like what went wrong, why it went wrong, or what they should do next. And then at the bottom, you can customize this, however you like. So I don't know if any of you know Little Britain at all, but so this is just whenever something goes wrong, this person just says computer says no. So put your own image, something more work appropriate, and then you can put whatever text in you like. So merge field, hi Stephen, this is an error. You can have the actual error appear in front of them, so they can say, oh, phone number shouldn't be blank, and they can fix it. Can add in an email to send to the system admin, or if you've got a case team which might handle it, and then if you're in a rush, call this number. You can add in information like that at the bottom as well to try to help. So as you may have figured out by now, I'm Australian by the accent. So I moved to America at the end of January of this year, so I've been here 7-ish months now. So my wife works at the embassy, so we're here in a 3-year posting, so it'll be here till the start of 2025 and then back to Australia. I'm currently working at Blue Engine Solutions, and so John here is my boss and founder of Blue Engine Solutions. And I started beginning of May with John, so just over 4 months now. Been a lot of fun. So we do a lot of non-profit work and also private companies as well there. So mostly small to medium enterprise. And then so I developed an interest in flows earlier in the year when I was building out a beer app, and I was trying to automate a lot of the processes for that. So when I moved to America, I couldn't work for quite a few months, just waiting for my visa and legal working rights. And then I like beer, and I thought I want to try as many beers as I can whilst I'm living in America. So I thought, try to handle this all with Salesforce. And then there's a lot of things I was finding I just had to manually keep doing over and over. And then flows were the future. So I started thinking, different ways where I could do that. And just been using them ever since. So subflows. So subflows are just a subtype of flow. So they're available in your org. They can either be an auto launch flow or a screen flow. You use them just to perform common tasks. So for example, we're going to use them to handle errors, because unfortunately errors do happen reasonably frequently. So you can set inputs into the subflow if needed. You can store outputs, but the whole point of a subflow is to save yourself time. So if there's something which you're having to build over and over in multiple different flows, build one subflow, and then you just keep referencing that flow over and over. So it's a lot less maintenance down the line. If something changes, you have to change an email or phone number, you do it in one place rather than in 20 different flows and 30 different areas of each flow. So first activity we'll do, if everyone hopefully got a playground or something you can just open up quickly, we'll just build this basic screen flow, and we deliberately want to make it error. So it's just hopefully a quick, simple thing. So just add a screen for the account information and then a screen to create the records. So the create component will look like this. This thing's frustrating. So if everyone just is able to do that for me, and then we'll just run through what that looks like. Screen resolution. It's really difficult with the TV.
Yeah.
It's super wide. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit nicer.
Go back.
Yeah.
The one before that were, yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, that one.
Oh, the create records? Yeah, yeah, sure. So with that then, so here you've got your account name, phone, and account type fields. I mean, you can put anything, like the account name, sort of the big one for the moment. And then for the create records, so we want to create an account. So set the field, use separate resources, virtual values.
Wait, you want us to copy it? Right?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Can you go back to the screen?
Back to the screen, sure. Yeah, so the account name, so that's text field.
Using, okay, so you're not using field.
And then for phone, there's a phone component you can use. And then the type is a pick list field. Let me know if I'm going too quick. So to create the type pick list in your choice, so you want to create a pick list choice set. How's the coffee?
Copies, but my laptop's not working.
That's a
You also have a broken laptop.
Yeah, mine's just too big and clunky.
Yeah.
And the new one is a newer. All-in-one version, yeah. You see that choice?
so for this one, yeah, so with the choice, go like new resource, which will be your default. Hang on, I'll just create it again. Might be better. So when you come in, it'll be a new choice resource. Then here we want to do a pick list choice set. And then, so like my naming convention, I just put like the type in front, so PL is pick list, and then account type, because that's what we're trying to find. It's accounts, and then the data type. So you get multi-select or pick list, but type is just a regular pick list field. And here, then it'll list all the different pick lists on the account object, and you can just find type there.
So it's just three things, account,
Yeah.
and type?
Yeah. So the whole idea of this, just give you a basic example of how you can use it. So obviously flows can be used for a million different things. And then, because for example, account name is a required field. You could tick the required box, but for the purpose of generating an error, we're not going to do that today. But yeah, so there are certain ways. Yeah, this isn't a well-designed flow, just trying to demonstrate deliberate errors. Is everyone okay with the screen component? Beautiful. And then so the create records. So we're just going to create one account, use separate resources for an account object. And then depending on how you named, what API names you gave to your screen components, they might be slightly different here. Oh, So we got a bit of delay. Yeah.
Over library Wi-Fi.
Not great. Gonna have a 5-second delay, looks like. My mouse is over the close button. Now it's there. How's everyone going? You need to go back anywhere or?
Realize my dev word is not on 123 yet.
That's all right. It won't matter for the purpose of this. Okay, so just save that if you haven't yet, so we can debug it together. I just called mine Washington admin group screen, create account and contact, but you can label it whatever you like. So we'll run this. The first time we'll go through just to check that I actually set it up properly. So, you know, if everyone did what they should, test account, what are we today? 10 September. So everyone in debug at the moment. Yeah, I mean, put whatever values you want in. So we're just trying to check that when we hit next, that all done. So this one worked properly, able to create record. So if I check out my accounts now, so yeah, so that's been created as we thought. So the flow works at one point, but users don't always do exactly as they're meant to. So this time around, when we debug, now we'll forget to put an account name in. Aim idea here, and then we're going to be met with this. So unhandled fault has occurred, but we don't know what the fault is. And then you as the admin aren't really going to know, well, depending on who the process user gets these emails. Like if it's a team, it might just be one person getting it. But so essentially this is what we're trying to avoid, because this isn't great as the user. Like, I don't know, like maybe I thought I did put the name in, but I haven't realized maybe just my developer made a really bad flow and the user doesn't think they've done anything wrong. So this is the situation we're trying to fix. So we're going to create a second flow. So if you can create another screen flow for me. So go back to the flows page and open a new one. And then there's the two components again. Yeah, maybe just like a thumbs up or something once you got the second screen flow open and ready to do the action object. All good then. Yeah. All right. So for this one, so the action type, you're gonna select. I can create this again. The action, and so search for send email. That's the one we want. And then so for your input values, so for the body, you should be able to create a new resource if you need, and then you want to create a text template. So text template. So once again, my naming convention, I start this off with TT, the text template, but you email body. And then, so now for the resources, this is where, so in the body portion of the email, like what we're actually going to send out to the person. Yeah, of course, it's already broken. So think about like what you want to email them, what's useful as you as the admin. If someone has a flow error, what would be good coming in? So the email will tell you the time when it happened already, when it came in, but you'd want to know potentially who the user running the flow was. And then you might want to know what the fault message is as well. So first off, we'll just add in the user thing. So to insert the resource, you can add it in from the global variable from the flow. And then sorry, not from flow, from user. And then so you can get their first name. And then same again. So if you search user, click on that. It's a bit temperamental sometimes. Last name. And then you can put just whatever plain text you want at the start as well. So running user is that. And then if at the moment, if we do flow and then fault message, what does everyone think will happen here?
The flow fault message.
Of which flow though?
The flow that triggered the error.
Sadly, no. So this will be the fault message of this subflow we're building right now.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right. You have to input it in.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah. So this will like potentially trip you up a bit. And you'll be scratching your head wondering why nothing's happening, because this flow fault message is returning is about this current little subflow, which if it's launched properly, shouldn't have any faults. So this would just come up as blank. So instead, we'll just get rid of that and we'll just have to exit out of this for now. So done. And then you're going to create a new variable. So a new resource variable. And then so once again with variables, I normally do just start with a V. Some people like to do var instead. And then so what we're going to put into this, so we're going to send the fault message into here. Going to be of type text. And then the most important bit is you check this box right here. So this flow is available for input. So what that means is that from one flow to another, you can send information into here. Yeah, actually, Pallavi wanted photos. Oh, yeah? So that's good. Thank you.
You want everyone like looking at me and saying hi or no? All right, I'll everyone look at me and smile for Pallavi. Prove everyone we're here. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Thanks, Jan. Everyone up to this point? Great. All right, so now we've got this variable down here. So the V fault message, var fault message, and then if you go back into your text template email body, you can do the same thing. So fault message, and then insert the resource. So you can just search for whatever it is there. All right. I'm just gonna put back email. Beautiful. And then so the subject, flow error, you can be more specific, but that's kind of basic enough to get the point across. And then so for the recipient email address, so this is where, if you had a team inbox or something, you could put it there. So it'll get sent to a certain group. And then what I've added on here at the end, this little plus error, is nifty little trick you can do. So it'll still send to my actual email, trumblesf@gmail.com. So the plus won't, I didn't create a new email account for that. But then I can use this as like a tag. So I can create a filter in my Gmail or my Outlook or whatever, and then find anything which is addressed to the plus error, or, you might want to call this plus flow error, send it all directly to one folder. And then you might have other forwarding rules or something else you want there. So nice little thing. You can do it signing up for a lot of different websites and things as well. So if you want to know who sold your data, you can be, Stephen Trumbull plus Best Buy, a Gmail, and then he'll know if
Yeah, do,
Mine's not, mine's the same here.
yeah.
for the recipient email address, or you in
Oh, I'm doing.
comma
the
separated?
collection, that's
Yeah.
why.
so comma separated.
Yeah. Almost both.
What's, so you're using this, what's the benefits of this versus, I usually use email alerts, so like they're, like what's the difference? The concept of using this action versus the email alert.
So which one do you normally use?
Email alert?
Mean like
Oh.
workflow, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably got like an App Exchange, maybe an unofficial
Maybe
Salesforce.
that's what it is.
Yeah. So definitely there is, but yeah, I mean that might have other benefits I'm not aware of, but this is should be able to done in
Okay.
any playground, any org, without having to
All right.
go through that. Okay, so everyone's got to this point. All right, so just to recap, so this is kind of the meaty, juicy stuff, which is going to go to you as the admin. And so this is all happening, and it's important that it happens before it gets to the screen. So this will be a nice, quick, automatic process. And then we want to deal with what the user's actually going to experience on their end. So it'll come in, this email will be sent off without the user even realizing, and then we'll create, a little error screen for them. And then, sorry, that's a bit hard to read, but yeah, so the whole idea is just at the top. So I've got a display image component. And so if you use a display image component, you can reference a static resource in your org. And then, so that's just easy if you're going between sandboxes and production, rather than, if you had to upload a file, put that into rich text, and then you deploy it to production, and then that file doesn't exist in there, whereas your static resource will come across a bit easier. So, if you're not familiar with a static resource, it's just in setup. So if you've got any JPEG or something on your phone or on your computers now, you can set one up together. Is your internet this slow as well? Everyone else?
Sorry?
Is everyone else's internet struggling?
Mine's okay.
Yours is okay. All right. So yeah, so if you just type static resources. And then just the new button. And then, yeah, so this name that you put in, that's what we're going to reference in the flow. So, you want it something kind of makes sense, as short as possible. And then just brief description, the error message for the subflow, and then just choose your file. And then the cache control, just change that over to public.
Like what are the limitations of the file types?
I
mean, are all the sort of normal file types okay?
Yeah, I assume all the normal ones are, but yeah, like I don't know if you can do GIFs or anything like that. Yeah, never tried. But I mean, the display image component probably wouldn't work with that. But like JPEG, PNG should be fine. All right. So has everyone got something similar to this? So you've named it something. Hopefully JPEG, PNG. Cache is public. You're good, Andrew? Cool. Janice, you all right back there? Yeah. All right. So then if you come back here, so the component you want is display image. So that's an input. And then the image name is what you name your static resource. So if you're confident in your typing, let's type it in again. Or if not, you can just, copy it across. Yeah. And then everyone image appearing now. Should see it instantly if it's worked correctly.
The case sensitive.
Yeah. Yeah, so normally I just copy straight from the name, just so I don't make an error. But you make it public or private? Or... Yes, computer. Oh, yeah, sorry. What it could be. So when you like open the flow, it'll have a look in the back end because these files won't exist. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, so just save your flow refresh if you're not getting the image.
Sorry, what did you call this one?
Yeah, I mean, whatever you like. So I just Washington admin group just so I could find all these pre-built things nice and quick. But yeah, so error subflow normally is and straightforward, easy enough to call, search for later. Yeah, I actually had that exact same problem when I was preparing for this, where I forgot about the refresh. And then at the bottom, once you've got that, just put in a display text component. And then you can write whatever the error message. And then so yeah, like the error message I've got, I'm just hi, and then that merge field to user first name. Looks like you got an error. And then I've decided I will show the person the error message. You may or may not want to do that. You know, if the error, for example, was a validation rule, and then you've got those validation rules with nice error messages written already, then you know it might be you forgot to put in the phone number, or you know, the social security number needs to be of this format. So you can put that in nice and simple, and then they'll probably know they can figure it out themselves and run the flow again. And then so same idea, we're calling not the flow fault message, but the variable for the fault message that we're talking about, the screen flow where the error occurred. Display text. So it should, yeah. And then yeah, obviously if your workplace had, you know, a phone number, call line or something, you could add in that detail there if there's a major issue. Okay. Everyone with me up to this point? Something similar? It does, yeah, you don't need to copy the text exactly, but just so long as you got something similar, hopefully you're calling this.
Oh.
And then if you're at this point, just with your subflow, if you can activate that for me.
I've always found something curious, like, so when you're doing this, you actually have to, like, so when it's an unhandled fault, you get the message, that email message with the total detail.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
But you do this, it's not gonna.
You still get that email
You'll
as well.
still get that
Yeah,
email,
yeah.
but then you'll get the second email,
Correct.
which is a summary. So that's the point of the second. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so everyone's got this activated? Because you're going to have a problem in a moment if it's not active.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry.
You okay?
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. So then, yeah, if you want to go back to your flow here, And then, so what we'll do now, so we know that the error happens on this pink one. So you'll create records. And then so if you, I'll try and zoom in a little for you. So when you click on one of these, you get this bit here saying add fault path. And then so it'll create this nice little red line off to the side. Then here is where we can launch subflows. And then same thing, if you can't see the flow which you've activated, you might just need to refresh this page again. So if that's not coming up, that'll be your first troubleshoot step. And so we should and now if we set up this variable correctly on your subflow, you should see this set input values. Does everyone see this? Yeah, so we want to include this. And then into the variable fault message, we're going to put the fault from this flow. So that's just flow fault message. Make sense? So yeah, finding the error on the create account, sending that. And then so that's where it'll appear in the email we send to ourselves and on the display text, which will show to the users.
You added, where did you add
The subflow?
Yeah.
Yeah, so first you want to create a fault path. So you click on, so on any create, update, delete, get records, you'll be able to add a fault path. And then fault path will allow you to add different elements. And that's when you can pick subflow. Correct, yeah. All right, so if you've done that, just save again and then debug and we'll see what happens. So for mine, same thing again. So I'm going to leave this account name blank deliberately. I'll put something in the phone number, prospect. And now when I press next, you get taken to this screen. So it's like, hi, Stephen, because I'm the running user. Got an error, and then it comes up with a required field missing name. And so now as a user, I've got an idea what's going wrong. An email has been sent to your admin. And so if I check out my page in here, hopefully, yeah. And then so here, so this is where, I've just made a sub little group called flow errors. And then so on this one, because this was sent to this Trumbull SF plus error, it's going to come straight to here. And then this is the email body. So the flow error, so this error occurred, and this person was trying to do this, who the running user was. And so that in my one, I also put in the user's email address and the user phone. Because for example, you might get a user who makes a lot of problems, or you know them quite well, and then you might be able to quickly just get on the phone and be like, hey, Stephen, hey, John, whatever, you're just missing this field. You just need to change this. This is what you did. And you might be able to solve it in 10 seconds, or maybe they work across from you and you can do it instantly. And so it just stops you, then also having to go back into Salesforce, find the user record, find their phone number. So you can add all these extra little bits in just to kind of extend depending, how your workplace works and how you work. Okay.
It's all like,
you got all your
it's all like
all the P's.
together.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, sorry. I didn't make that obvious. when I was doing it. Yeah. So what you want is for your body. Sorry, this view is plain text. I did forget to mention that. Sorry about. So
So
yeah.
it needs to be plain text?
Yeah. So if you do plain text, then it'll get rid of all those like
Okay,
HTML
you
formatting.
can't be rich text.
I haven't been able to figure it out, but yeah, this is just how I always do it. And then you one not successful with making an error, getting the email, getting the screen to come up. All right. So then kind of the next bit is ideally, whenever you got one of these pink like elements, so you create, update, delete, get records, if an error is going to occur, this is when it's going to happen. And so all of them, you should, where possible, add a fault path on. And then where the real beauty of the subflow comes in now is, it took us a little while to build this first one, but now it's built. You can reference this as many times as you want in every different flow. So I've just added this on. You don't have to worry about it, but create an account and then create the contact afterwards. And so same idea with this create contact record, you can add the fault path. And then you could either just add the same subflow here again. But yeah, then you gotta kind of label it all. So you could do it that way. Set all the inputs again. You could copy the element, put it in here as well to be nice and quick. But my preferred way is delete that. You can just connect this to an element. And so it'll just see that this is connected to the error. And so the big advantage of doing this way rather than copy paste is say down the line with this email. So, at the moment, we're just putting in the flow fault message. Let's say there was something else we wanted to put in, we also wanted to put in the flow start runtime or whatnot. Then if we went back to the subflow, create a new variable to store that, come back here, and then on just this one subflow here, then you just have to set the input values again. Whereas once you start building big flows and you might have, 20 different statements, if you copied this, pasted onto every single fault path, you'd have to do that on every single one again.
Yeah, I only started recently using auto layout. I was always freeform, but I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, and pretty fun. So yeah, so if you got that, that's kind of it. And then yeah, if you're all pointing to the one, it's all pretty straightforward. So that's, I guess, the crux of the presentation. Yeah.
So the screen flow that pops up for the user,
Yes.
it includes the exact error that's causing, or the reason that's causing the.
Yeah, I mean, the way I've set it up, it had, but once again, this is going to be your choice of what you do or don't want to. So this error message, fault message, that's the exact same thing I'm putting in the email body to me as the system admin, and I'm also showing it to the user. So you may or may not think that's what you want to do for your org, but if it's something reasonably simple, like, this was a required field or whatnot,
you might want to put YouTube of automation hour.
Okay.
And I didn't understand the formula. I copied it down and I use it sometimes where it takes off the end part, which is completely useless. The soap something.
Oh yeah, right.
Right, all that stuff. So you really, with all that, it's like people don't read it. They just
no.
care about the relevant part.
Yeah.
The required fields of this thing.
Yeah, we probably could do a trim on that.
I struggled with that word because I really don't understand how it works. I just kind of copied it from the webinar and then had some hits and misses to try to get it to work.
Okay. Yeah, I assume it's just like a trim function.
Yeah, it's like looking up something, chopping off of my.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, chop off link from the end. Yeah. Yeah, so that'd be like nice extension once again. But I think, you know, kind of like the real meat of it is this is all you need to do, just kind of build this out once, and then you can add your own little tweaks, your own little flares, do nice little extra things. So just kind of to recap, flows, subflows should be doing all your repetitive work. So you just build it once per org, and then you can use it everywhere. And then, yeah, I think the default error experience can and should be improved. So, you know, if you can, once again, in your production environment, spend this 20, 30 minutes, get it done once, and then never have to build it again.
What about, so I don't do that many screen flows. I do a ton of record trigger flows.
Okay.
And so like, I wonder how people do a error handling subflow for record trigger flow where like what do you like I know you can do an email, is there any way to like when an error occurs, right? So when an error record trigger flow occurs,
Yeah.
There's nothing, is there anything like you can do that?
I don't think you can call a screen flow from a record triggered flow. I think that's a limitation. Yeah. So yeah, I can look into it, but yeah, I don't think that's possible. There's probably some app exchange solution which
yeah, just
be a workaround.
Find a good elegant way to handle error handling for record trigger flow.
Yeah, I mean, you could build basically nearly the exact same thing, but with just the send email action, and then so you could send a short and condensed version that, you know, this user was running, or like this is what started it, this is the time. But yeah, it's more, I guess, for the user experience, you know, if they're clicking through going, this was more aimed at that. And then yeah, so I've added in, so the ideas, so that was a good one you had about trimming off the rest of that developer guide. What you could also do is, you know, try to create a case on here as well. So on your Subflow, on this screen, you know, you might want to add in a little checkbox. I'd like to create a case. The person could tick, you know, yes, mark it as true. And then you'd have a decision element afterwards, which, you know, create a case, assign it to whoever it should be assigned to. They can, and be going through. Once again, kind of depends how, you know, you work in your org, whether you want those cases created or, you know, you use ClickUp or something else, and just when the email comes in, you manage your workload through there. But yeah, so this is a nice foundation, but definitely can be extended. Don't have to stop at this point. Any other queries, questions, or?
Yeah, so like you said, so for a record trigger flows, we can just have the email.
Yeah.
Admin for that.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, yeah.
Have you ever seen anyone create? It's nice, but like the man lost it in it. Is there like some you're seeing people create some sort of like log some kind like custom object like that like that?
Of every error.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
I guess
it's a nice idea. Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to see like how that's.
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting idea. Because yeah, you could definitely do something similar there, where you could like send the email, create the log object, like record, put the fault message in, you know, for the heading or whatnot, assign it. Yeah, could be an interesting way to handle. But yeah, how much more useful that is to a case, I'm not sure. I don't think I had anything else on here. Yeah, that's all. So hopefully you all got something from it.